Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is TamezTech and welcome to a new video. Today we are checking out the brand new Jungle Cup League rotation. The leagues just rotated today. We have Jungle Cup, we have Ultra League. You guys already know I'm kind of broke on the Ultra League, so we are trying the Jungle Cup and we are trying Shadow Talon in the lead. Talonflame is a force to be reckoned with in this cup. People haven't realized that they can use Lantern again, so we're kind of in the clear. But just so you know, we are still running double lantern counters in the back. As you can see, we got Cradley as a safe swap. We got Gastrodon in the back. And honestly, this team gave me amazing results. I have to be completely frank with you guys. I don't know how much elo you can climb with this team. We kind of got hard stuck at about 2650s or so. But I will say this, I had a lot of misplays with this team. I've been a little bit busy this last few days and I've been a little bit distracted. So I have a lot of confidence that if you try this team, you might do a lot better than I did. We still went about 15 and 10 on the day, so we still went positive. It was a pretty decent day overall, but I had a lot of misplays and I know I could have done a lot better. So if you play correctly, then you might be able to do better with this team. But let's go ahead and get into these battles to start shoutcast them and see where we did right, okay? So we see Corviknight in the lead, and honestly, man, Talonflame was catching all of the leads today. I don't know if it's going to be catching them tomorrow, which is when you will be watching this video. But man, everyone was running Steel in the lead. Everyone was running Ice in the lead. Talonflame had a lot of play. The problem is that my Pokemon in the back were just getting core broken quite a bit. Charjabug was a bit of a core breaker. Altaria is an insanely bad Pokemon for us to see. So if you see those Pokemon, good luck. Also, Shadow Gyarados, I think you just lose. If you do see Shadow Gyarados, I would just play the matchup out with Talonflame. You can actually get it pretty low and take both shields down if you just keep going Flame Charge. They should win the matchup, but with both shields down, they will be at about 30 HP at the end of that matchup. So honestly, not terrible, and hopefully the backline can sweep. But yeah, as you can see, we kind of get rid of the Corviknight. We bring in Gastro. We kind of sack it there because, to be honest, I just need my Talonflame at this point. I need to be able to farm down this Corviknight all the way, and I can just incinerate down this Cradley here. So a little bit of a scary play there, just sacking Gastro right there. But I really needed to keep my Talonflame around, or we would have just been a GG there. All right, mirror lead in the next match, and honestly, I have answers to Talonflame with my entire team here, so I'm just gonna pivot into Cradley, try to make it some use. I will say this, most teams that have Talonflame lead are really weak to Talonflame in the back, which is why I swapped out there. Lo and behold, check this out, they bring in a Wigglytuff here. I make a little bit of a misplay here. I cap tie the Wigglytuff, but I throw Flame Charge. I should have flown here. If we fly, we actually knock out the Wiggly. Now we don't. We're taking unnecessary chip damage. We get debuffed back to our neutral attack stage. And now this game is getting a little bit more complicated. I'm going to throw this Fly to force a shield, and then I'm going to bring in my Gastro. This Talonflame, if they bait, they are going to force both of my shields. And take a wild guess what they do. They bait. So now I'm going to have to shield this Brave Bird as well. This game is going to come down to energy management, right? Corviknight comes in, and I know 2 water pulses don't quite knock out. So I need to bait this Corviknight into throwing energy into my Talonflame, right? I don't want to actually knock it out with my Talonflame with an Incinerate. I want to bait them into wanting to knock me out, which works perfectly. So now this Corviknight is almost energy dry right after throwing the second Air Cutter. They do get the boost, but it doesn't really matter. I just have to get to a move onto this Talonflame, knock it out with Body Slam, and now I'm going to be able to mud slap down that Corviknight back there. Very, very risky play, not going to lie, but we really needed that Corviknight to throw energy against our Talon there. All right, Tricky lead in the next match. Charjabug, once again, not a great Pokemon for us to see. I'm going to do a bunch of damage, farm up to the Flame Charge here, and now I'm just going to swap into Cradley. I'm going to have to shield one and take one. That's totally fine. This game is going to get a little bit tricky for sure here, but I'm just going to throw my energy instantly here, make sure I can knock out this Charjabug before they get to another X-Scissor and see what they want to bring in. They actually bring in a what is this guy called? Hippowdon? A Shadow Hippowdon? Someone was making fun of me in chat the other day because I was calling it a Dawn fan. So there goes my Pokemon expertise. But I really just want to get some chip damage into this Pokemon. even if they know shield. They actually simultaneous swap there. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but getting these boosted incinerates onto this Piloswine is absolutely crazy. You might have been enticed to shield there, but I need to keep my shield for the Gastro because that other Pokemon is more than likely going to get to a Scorching Sands, right? So my win con here is to just keep farming this Piloswine down. My opponent actually brings in Hippowdon and throws a Body Slam, which doesn't knock out. So I'm just gonna be kind of free range, just farming that thing down, throwing the Body Slam into Piloswine, and that's gonna be a good game. A little bit too stressful for me, but we are able to take that win. Another Talon lead in the next match. I'm just going to bring in Cradily and throw the Rock Tomb right away. I don't care if they catch or not. This opponent does catch. They catch on Clodsire. And you might think this is a bad catch and like it's really bad for us. But the Cradily matchup, you're supposed to Rock Tomb anyways, right? So we're actually in a decent spot here. We will be able to get to another Grass Knot here and put in some pressure. But honestly, I don't want to throw this energy, right? I want to keep this energy in the back line, bring in Gastro right away to force them to dump debuffed energy here. And now I have an energy lead against whatever they bring in. They actually bring in Piloswine, and I am sending the nuke, baby. I am not baiting here. That is amazing. I feel like my opponent was very confident there trying to call the bait, but I really have, like, I feel like that's my lose con, right? If I bait there, we are in a really, really bad spot. Unless they shield, of course, but they really have no incentive to shield. I feel like at this point, they want to keep their shields for Talonflame, right? So my win con here is to just bring in Talon, survive a fly, and throw a fly, but my opponent makes a bit of a misplay. They bring in Clodsire. I'm able to farm up to the back-to-back moves, and now, I mean, this Talonflame has less shields than they need. We have a bunch of energy on Gastro, and we should be one move away on Cradily. So yeah, we're able to actually combo play here. Talonflame still needed to get to, I don't know, maybe 3 flies to actually win this game. So very comfortable win there, but still a little bit of mind games going on. All right, we see an amazing lead in the next match. We see Caesar, and we get the Diggersby safe swap. Honestly, they might be really, really weak to Talonflame. My opponent throws a Scorching Sands, and what do you know? They get the debuff. 12% chance, baby, but it does not seem like it. Thankfully, it doesn't really matter in this matchup. We are able to throw this Grass Knot here to knock out in 2-shot, but my opponent is actually able to make that catch. Honestly, I was very surprised by this play where the the switch clock was just so quick there. It did not feel like 40 seconds since only 3 charge moves were thrown. But anyways, we are able to farm down the Caesar. We will have to shield, and it's a Clodsire in the back, and honestly at this point I feel like this game is over. Even if this Clodsire can come out with a bunch of energy from this matchup, we have Gastrodon. I can still save my Talonflame for this Diggersby if they didn't swap out, and I feel like we're just in a good position here. I will shield the Scorching Sands from Diggersby because I am less likely to get baited by Diggersby since it's a debuffing move. And I don't want to be shielding Stone Edge or Sludge Bomb baits on the Clodsire. I really don't want to be risking all that. So thankfully that was the right play, and we're able to take that game. All right, we see Party Hat Charizard in the next game, and honestly, this is very, very scary. They actually make a decent catch on Heliolisk, but I mean, this Pokemon is practically dead now, right? I can bring in Gastro, farm it all the way down, and even if Charizard comes in, I'm just going to throw this Body Slam right away. I don't actually want Charizard to shield this move. I want them to know that it is a Body Slam, and I want them to know that they can tank it because I want to land damage into this thing. If Charizard shields, it can actually destroy my backline, right? But if they don't shield, then I can just acid this down very, very easily. So at this point, we are kind of in a 2v1 situation. This Charizard can get to another move, but we snipe successfully with the Cradily. My opponent does not want the rest of it, so they are going to resign that game. Thank God. All right, amazing lead in the next match, but these are never easy, man. We always get an amazing lead with Talon, and there's always something in the back that is insanely bad for us, like maybe an Altaria or something. So again, really, really good lead. Let's see what we can do here with our Cradily. I was thinking of running Caesar safe swap instead of Cradily, but I don't know. I guess I just thought differently. We are able to kind of pressure a shield or a knockout here from this Spirit. So we do get a shield advantage from this matchup, and thankfully they aren't able to get to another Swift. So here is the core breaker. Altaria comes in, and honestly, buddy, I want it here. I want Altaria on my Talonflame up a bunch of energy. This is how I can get rid of this Pokemon. Now, I'm just going to throw this fly, and if they shield, I'm bringing in Gastro. Gastro can knock out that Caesar with a Water Pulse really easily. So I'm just going to keep farming here, make sure I watch for that catch attempt. I don't want them to be catching a Body Slam, of course, and we should be able to knock out the Caesar before they even get a Night Slash, and that's going to be a GG to my opponent there. Very, very well precise gameplay. All right, another Shadow Caesar in the lead. Dude, everybody is running Shadow Caesar lead. It is crazy. I do 2 Incinerates and then swap into my Gastro here. They bring in Hippowdon, and I'm just going to shield this move. I know this is a Scorching Sands. It would do an insane amount of damage, so I'm just going to shield it, make sure I get rid of this thing as soon as possible. I really don't want this on my Cradily. It would be abysmal, and even if Caesar comes in, we can just go for this Water Pulse and either knock out or get a shield. We do get a shield. I'm going to wait a little bit and swap into my Talon, but my opponent reads me like a book, and they are able to swap out before the Incinerate registers. But honestly, this is still fine. Charizard comes in. They don't throw a move for some reason, so we're able to knock them out with this fly. And at this point, I mean, I can just shield this move, knock out the Caesar, and Cradily gets to take the game off. GG's to my opponent. All right, on to the next battle here. We see Pangoro in the lead. Honestly, good and not good. This Pokemon is a little bit scary because thanks to one of my chatters, they actually told me this thing could run Rock Slide, which I totally forgot about. So yeah, we do shield every move. My opponent doesn't really show the Rock Slide, so I don't know if they had it or not. But at the end of the day, I don't want to risk it. So we are able to 2-shield farm this thing all the way down. They bring in a Steelix, and I'm thinking, trainer, I mean, this is not really a counter. I am double boosted. We're able to land the Flame Charge, farm down the Steelix, and my opponent just didn't want to see what I had in the bag. So that's going to be a GG. All right, interesting lead in the next match. Honestly, I hate this lead because I have to shield first, right? Even though these Incinerates are completely chunking this Pokemon, I have to shield it first. I'm going to throw this Flame Charge instantly so that I can knock out with 1 Incinerate, but my opponent just lets it go, which is totally fine. I'm going to throw the Flame Charge here, which arguably is kind of a mistake since I'm swapping out anyways, so I should have just flown there. It is a Fortress in the back though, so thank God we pivoted there. This matchup is going to be a little bit tricky though, because this Fortress can exit this matchup with a lot of energy, and honestly, I'm not about that. So I think I'm going to be having to play a little bit more aggressive here. I'm going to throw a few acids with Dilly, bring in the Talon. My opponent, once again, just playing very, very well, watching out for that catch, making sure it doesn't happen. And this Cofagrigus is able to farm us down before we get a fly. Thankfully though, they've already shown they have Brutal Swing, so I'm guessing they're on Brutal Swing Rock Tomb there. So at this point, I feel like I just have to farm down this Cofagrigus and double Body Slam the Fortress, or vice versa. My opponent brings in Fortress here, and I know this is just a Rock Tomb. This is going to do less damage than the other moves. It's actually a Sand Tomb, so a little bit spooky there, but we are able to guarantee this back-to-back Body Slam, which is double resisted, but should still be knocking out this Cofagrigus. They're extremely low on HP, and we do take that game, but it was extremely, extremely uncomfortably close. On to the next game, we see a Wigglytuff lead. This is an amazing lead. We do have an answer to it in the back with Cradily, but they actually bring in a Dunsparce. And this is very suspicious to me because, I mean, Dunsparce is an incredibly hard answer to Talonflame, right? So my guess is that they have an even harder answer to Talonflame in the back. Wink, wink, more than likely going to be a Lantern. Thankfully though, with Cradily, we can guarantee how this matchup goes. We either get switch or, you know, we lose. So we're just going to guarantee switch advantage here. Wigglytuff comes in, and we did keep a little bit of HP on this Cradily, just enough to get to one more Rock Tomb here. So I don't really have to shield a move from this Wigglytuff. I'm going to keep my shields for the Gastro. They actually do have the Lantern back there, so we bank a Flame Charge, we bring in Gastro, and I'm just gonna go straight Body Slam. I know this Lantern wants to keep as much HP as they can, and they want to make sure the clock is being burnt up, and I really don't mind that. I'm gonna be throwing these moves again. I know they're gonna shield this. I know they don't want to no shield a body slam no matter what. They bring in Wigglytuff, and honestly at this point it doesn't really matter. I can just shield this move, go for the water pulse against Lantern because I know it's gonna do a little bit more damage than body slam, and we still have the flame charge in the bag. My opponent actually captizes there. Maybe they were hoping that I would combo play them or something like that, but to be completely honest, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, right? If they wasted their energy on the Talonflame and we got one turn lag or something like that, Gastro would have still been able to knock it out. All right, we see Fortress in the next lead, and once again we see another Furret safe swap. Very decent for Cradily. Cradily can deal with this. If you want to guarantee this matchup, you will have to go down shields, but the Furret does have to go down shields first. So we are able to land the Rock Tomb here, so we should be able to farm this down or maybe throw the move. I will throw this move because that would have been a simul KO, and I don't want to really risk that. So I want to force my opponent into either shielding or giving me switch advantage, and they do give me switch advantage. My opponent actually gets DRE there on that Incinerate, so they don't actually defer it into Altaria. They throw the 5 bug bites, and they just don't take the damage. So very cool game. All right. Regardless though, we do put quite a bit of work into this Altaria by landing that fly, and at this point I just have to go for a bunch of body slams here. I want to keep shields on my Talonflame because I know that I'm gonna have to shield a move, and I'm gonna have to shield this Rock Tomb from Fortress. We actually predict that our opponent is gonna have to bank energy, so we actually simultaneous swap into them, and we're able to take that game. Very close game, a lot of mind games like I said, but we are able to pull through. We see Altaria in the lead in the next match, and this one's running Peck. Very interesting play by my opponent here. I don't hate the Peck idea, but yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like Dragon Breath is still slightly better, right? My opponent actually tanks a Rock Tomb and then brings in Piloswine. Very weird game style by them, but I guess I'll take it. I really need the damage on Altaria anyways, so that's fine by me. I'm gonna throw this Flame Charge. My opponent shields, and I still don't want to spend shields in this matchup because if I spent one shield on Talon, I'm gonna have to spend both, and I don't want to do that. I'm gonna throw the body slam right away. My opponent catches it on Altaria, which honestly, I mean, that's what I was gonna throw anyways, so that's totally fine by me. And at this point, I'm just gonna throw my body slam right away. Once again, I want to make sure I either get rid of this Altaria or I see what's in the back. I get rid of the Altaria. I still have 2 shields on Talon, and my opponent has their own Talon. This game should be a GG, but for some reason, my opponent no shields this fly, and we're just able to farm them down. 2 Powder Snows don't knock out the Talon, so we're able to farm down the other Pokemon, and that's a GG. On to the next game, we see Lal Jeffs. Very potent battler here. They have Quillfish safe swap, and I'm thinking, okay, if I can survive 2 Aqua Tails, I'm just gonna farm this all the way down. Look at this crap. Oh my god, that Aqua Tail did so much freaking damage. What the hell? I have to throw this body slam instantly. I feel like that was the right move. I'm gonna get to this water pulse on this Fortress, but honestly, I mean, I don't really need this damage on Fortress, right? I need to be able to snipe him down. Fortress is KO'd at this point, but my opponent still has 2 shields. And who do they have back there? It is a Charizard, an Ember Charizard. This is very bad for us. It's a Shadow Charizard at that. I do have a very clear path to victory here, which is to let my Talonflame go. Lyle's very well-versed battler here. They go for the Blast Burn there. I'm trying to play these mind games with Lyle, but he is just too good, man. He goes for the air cutter bait, and at this point, I feel like, okay, I have to go for a catch, right? I'm going to farm up to the Rock Tomb. They have to throw. They don't throw. They read me like a book. I'm going for the Grass Knot BM. If I survive this move, I have to BM Lyle, but unfortunately, we are not able to. So GG's to Lyle that game. All right, next game, we see Magneton in the lead, and honestly, I doubt they want to take these Incinerates. We see Gyarados come in on the save swap, and once again, dude, I've told you, this Pokemon is insanely bad for us. Thankfully, though, we do have a 1-turn advantage into them, so maybe we can make something happen here, right? My opponent is going to force my second shield here with the Aqua Tail. But once again, I want to throw this Flame Charge. I want to get as rid as I can of this Pokemon. and my opponent brings in Thievul. So I know I want alignment here, right? I want my Gastrodon into that Magneton because I'm pretty sure 3 Mud Slaps just knock out. I'm just going to throw my Rock Tomb instantly here. My opponent catches. I don't give a crap. I'm just going to fully undercharge this, fully farm down with my Gastro, not even take a move. And that Thievul is just on the ropes, man. They're not going to be able to do anything. I think my opponent is trying to go for a boost con right here, but unfortunately they don't get it. And to be completely honest, I don't think even a boost would have helped them there. So that's a GG to my opponent. And that is going to be the end of the video. Again, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I feel like Shadow Talonflame is definitely an amazing pick for this meta. We did have a little bit of a tricky matchup, some electric leads that honestly we have double counters for them in the back, but if you see an electric lead, you bet your bottom dollar you're going to see a Caesar or a Fortress back there that's going to counter your Dilly. So I don't know, a little bit of a tricky meta for us right now, but it is just a first day, so hopefully we can see it evolve over the next few days. Once again though, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to follow me on all my socials. I have a link down in the description below where you can follow me on all my socials, check out my Twitch streams, as well as joining my Discord server if you want to post your catches or your teams or your elo there as well. And if you guys did enjoy it, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you thought. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye bye.